I was diving last week and saw the seal with what looks like a rubber tire or rubber ring round its neck. It's very hard to remove something like that from a seal underwater, and it's about building trust, really. I went back the next day, and it's very rare that I actually see the same seal, but I did see the same seal miraculously, and spent about an hour building some trust with it to get into a position where I could actually get both hands either side of its head, and I could get a pretty good grip on the ring. When I did that, the seal thrashed its head around, throwing me all over the place underwater. They're incredibly strong, and there was no way that ring was coming off, sadly. It was just coming up against the fat and the skull itself. The sea is not a dustbin, and if you throw stuff into the marine environment, it can really seriously impact on wildlife. But on a positive note, I could see when I was with it that the fur underneath wasn't cut. The ring would actually move round, and it hadn't actually broken through the flesh. It's not a pup, but it is going to grow. I think, to be honest, that its body will probably adapt to that. It looked incredibly well nourished. I saw it interacting with other seals. It looked very healthy. And I think as it grows, its body will adapt to it. Its spine will adapt to it. Its neck will adapt to it. And I think it's going to probably be okay. The only way to actually get that off, people have said to me, "Oh, can't you cut it off underwater?" I think it's just being aware of how difficult it is to actually get that close to a wild seal underwater. Takes a lot of practice, and I wouldn't dream of getting a knife out underwater that close to a seal, because you could end up hurting the seal, and you could also end up hurting yourself. So in terms of doing it underwater, cutting it off, it's nigh on impossible, really. And you could go down with a team and try and net it underwater, but a seal that size could easily pull 4 divers through the water if it wanted to, and if it went wrong, you'd end up with a net on a seal. I think the only way really to do it is, if it was on the land, haul down and you could surprise it, but that has risks, as usually they haul out with other seals, and surprising them on the land can flush them into the water, and they can stampede, they can get injured. So I think that seal's probably going to be stuck with that for a while, unless it got snagged in a rope and you could pull it into a boat.